there are many stories of Métis helping the tribals. First, we need justice, then only then peace will follow. Going back to Imphal Valley is more like going back to the Valley of Death.
How what kind of solidarity have the minorities who are facing genocide in Manipur received? And also, what civilians can do to help out the minorities of Manipur so that their dignity and their security can be restored. Some
Um,
steps on that.
when you say civilians, you're referring to those civilians outside Manipur. Is that the question?
Civilians outside Manipur, exactly. Civilians also civilians from good-natured civilians from Manipur as well who don't want such violence can be
Hmm.
from the Majoritian community as well.
Yes. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up because when I say Métis, I don't want to generalize that again because there are many stories of Métis helping the tribals,
Hmm.
helping them escape the mob and so on and so forth. So I don't want to generalize that. So when I say Métis, it should be understood in a manner that, let's say, those radicals within the Métis, right? Yeah. So I think what the at this point, talking about peace, at least in the from the point of view of the tribals, is more like this, distancing this the community from this whole idea of giving justice from whatever has happened. So right now, what the tribals are feeling and experiencing is that um, to to talk about peace, first we need justice, then only then peace will follow. So it's not that the tribals don't want peace, they want peace as much as they want justice. So at least justice comes first, because this is not the first case that the tribals have been experiencing at the hands of the majoritarian group. So for example, like I said, or like I briefly mentioned earlier, um, this is a case where violence finally erupted. But if you look at the historicity of Manipur and how the tribes, especially the Kukis and Zomis, are being treated, you see this infrastructural disparity. You see the kinds of let's say developmental disparities that is going on. These are like soft violence, I would say, but now finally a more physical, more engrossed violence have erupted. So there's a difference between these, but then these are all sorts of violence that we have to talk about. So in that sense, uh, peace have to be uh, peace have to come in the form of justice, I would say. And in doing that, the role of civilians, I think, would be to advocate, as much as giving humanitarian aid, humanitarian services to both communities. I think while doing that, advocating the idea of justice, at least for the tribals, um, is very much important. And I'm stressing on this because there's if you follow many of the stories, and I have been helping people, journalists, to help cover many stories of displaced people. They don't have this vision of going back to Imphal, especially Imphal. They are government officials, they are students, they are I mean, they have been living there for decades, and they have built good relationship with their relationships with their neighbors, right? So this the and what is saddening again is that many of the government sectors are sending out notices that these displaced people have to come back and start working, or students have to come back and start attending classes or give exams. These are going on. So but then these people are the tribals, displaced tribals, are not do not have any vision or dream or hope of going back to Imphal. So it is more like a horizontal separation of these communities, and peace should come in the form of justice, because as to quote from a survivor, going back to Imphal Valley is more like going back to the Valley of Death. That's how people are saying. So even some are going to the extent that I won't be able to think. I'm not thinking about going to Imphal. Um, I mean, that's where all the infrastructures are, right. At some point, we still have to go back to Imphal. But then people are saying that at least for 1 or 2 years down the line, I don't think I will have the courage to go to Imphal. So that's the situation. So whatever the media is giving out, the kind of narrative that is being sent out in the media, um, this should not be taken at face value. This should be analyzed. Think about, okay, what could be the real situation that is going on out there, and whose narratives are they is the media talking about. I think that is very important. And coming to the again to the role of the civilians, like I said, besides advocating for justice and peace, I think humanitarian aid in the form of whatever forms, food, clothing, whatever forms, this will be needed for, I don't know how many years. I cannot say, because there almost 50,000 people are displaced, and this and sent around in the tribal districts in Manipur. But at least for the Métis, I'm not being biased here. They're like at least under the service of the state. So I would say they would be taken care of at least comparatively to the tribals.